Let me tell you about a couple that looks successful on paper. She works in marketing earning $62,000 a year. He works in IT making $71,000. Together, they bring in $133,000 annually. That puts them in the top 25% of households in America. 6 figures, educated, responsible, married, homeowners in a decent neighborhood with good schools. From the outside, they're winning. But behind closed doors, they're exhausted, stressed, quietly anxious every time their phone buzzes with a bank notification. They live paycheck to paycheck, or close to it. They have maybe 2 months of expenses saved, and that's stretching it. When their car needed an unexpected repair, it went straight onto a credit card. Not because they're irresponsible, not because they're reckless, because they're stretched thin. They did everything right. They got the degrees. They built careers. They combined finances. They bought the house. They followed the script. So why does it feel like they're drowning? If you've ever looked at your combined income and thought, we make too much money to feel this broke, then what I'm about to share will shift your mindset completely. Welcome to Mindset Millionaire, where we don't just talk about making money, we talk about understanding the game. There's a powerful idea that most people never question: 2 incomes are better than 1. It sounds obvious. If one person earning $60,000 can support a family, then 2 people earning $60,000 should create surplus. Extra savings, investments, freedom, simple math. Except that's not what happened. What actually happened was something called the 2-income trap, a term coined by Elizabeth Warren back in 2003 when she was a Harvard law professor studying over 2,000 families who had filed for bankruptcy. What she found shocked people. 2-income households weren't safer. They were more vulnerable. Let that sink in. Working twice as hard, earning twice as much, yet more likely to go bankrupt. Why? Because the second income didn't create security. It got absorbed. Let's go back to 1970 for a moment. Back then, most middle-class families had one primary breadwinner. One income paid for a modest home, public school, healthcare, a car, groceries, and even allowed some savings. But here's what's even more important. They had margin. If the breadwinner lost their job, the stay-at-home parent could enter the workforce. That second income wasn't mandatory. It was a backup plan. A safety net. Now fast forward to today. In most married households with children, both parents work. 2 incomes aren't a luxury, they're required just to participate in the middle class. And what happened to costs during this shift? Housing prices doubled relative to inflation. Healthcare exploded. Childcare now costs thousands per year per child. College tuition skyrocketed. The cost of simply being middle class expanded to swallow both paychecks. That extra income didn't create wealth. It reset the baseline. Here's how the trap tightens. Imagine one partner makes $70,000 and the other $50,000. Combined income, $120,000. Sounds strong, but that second $50,000, it doesn't stay $50,000. First, taxes take a chunk, often at a higher marginal rate. That $50,000 might drop to $35,000 take home. If you have a child in daycare, there goes $15,000. 2 kids, $30,000. Now add commuting costs, gas, insurance, maintenance, maybe a second car payment. Another $8,000. Now factor in the hidden cost nobody talks about, exhaustion spending. When both partners work full-time, time disappears. Cooking becomes takeout. Cleaning becomes a hired service. Convenience replaces frugality. That can quietly cost another $5,000 to $10,000 per year. Suddenly, that $50,000 second income contributes very little, sometimes almost nothing, yet psychologically, you think in terms of $120,000. You buy a house based on $120,000. You take on obligations sized for $120,000. The bank approves you for a mortgage that only works as long as both incomes flow forever. That's the trap. The single-income family from decades ago had flexibility. The modern dual-income family often has none. If one partner loses their job, gets sick, burns out, or needs to care for family, the financial structure shakes immediately because it was built at full capacity. Operating at 100% with no margin feels fine, until something goes wrong. And life always goes wrong at some point. Here's the mindset shift that separates stressed 6-figure earners from true wealth builders. Stop treating 2 incomes as permanent. Even if both of you plan to work long-term, structure your life so you could survive on one. That means buying a house one income can cover. Driving cars that don't require both paychecks. Avoiding lifestyle upgrades just because you technically qualify. It's not about deprivation, it's about optionality. When your fixed expenses fit inside one income, the second income becomes powerful. It becomes an accelerator instead of a crutch. You can use it to eliminate debt fast. Build a 6-month emergency fund. Max out retirement accounts. Invest aggressively. Build assets that generate income on their own. Every invested dollar buys back freedom. Within 5 to 10 years, something incredible starts happening. Investments compound. Dividends grow. Options multiply. You're no longer trapped. One partner could step back. You could take a career risk. You could move. You could breathe. That's real wealth. The two-income trap isn't about money. It's about flexibility. It's about whether you own your life, or your expenses do. Our grandparents may not have had granite countertops or luxury SUVs, but many had something priceless, margin. We traded margin for lifestyle. But appearances aren't wealth. Cash flow isn't security, and 6 figures doesn't guarantee peace of mind. On Mindset Millionaire, we challenge the narrative. We don't just chase higher income, we build smarter foundations. If you're tired of feeling broke on a big paycheck, if you want financial security, not just financial status, if you're ready to stop playing defense with your money and start building real wealth, then this is your wake-up call. Preserve flexibility. Control fixed costs. Treat income as a tool, not an excuse to expand. Because you can't earn your way out of a trap you don't even recognize. Now you see it, the only question is, what are you going to do about it? If this shifted your perspective even a little, subscribe to Mindset Millionaire and join a community that thinks differently about money. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and remember, millionaire isn't just about income. It's about mindset.